Hello, I think we're live now. How's everyone doing? Welcome to another stream. I'm just going to wait for the YouTube confirmation and then I am going to start talking as usual. But yeah, if you're in the chat already, say hello just so I can see if it's actually working. It does help me out quite a lot as well. And yeah, let me know if there's any issues. I'm happy to fix anything. Okay, so YouTube still hasn't given me the notification here. Let me also open, in the meantime, oh, there you go. I think we're live now. Yeah, there you go. I can hear myself. I think we're doing fine. I'm going to open a Chrome session here. Hello, hello, Gurgly Toth. I think I know who you are. You're GTX. How's it going, dude? Change your YouTube name or? Oh no, wait, what? You got two accounts. Who is that? I thought that was you. Wait, is that not you? Is that not the same person? But I do appreciate if you're watching from two different accounts though. It will help me out for sure. As long as you can like on both of them. That's amazing. Yeah, so today, what are we doing today? Today we are doing a C++ stream. Forgot to switch back. No worries. No, I'll dox myself. It's alright, dude. No one watches these anyway. So if we get 100 viewers on this stream, I'll be very impressed. I can also cut it out from the start, so don't worry about it. I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, another C++ stream today. We're going to be working on the 6502 emulator that we created a few months ago. I will say, I must confess, this is my like little secret. I've been working on this on my free time basically every day. Like I've been enjoying working on this quite a bit. So this is a 6502 emulator, as you can probably tell, written in C++. And we're trying to kind of use modules and some of the new C++ features in here, because this project was actually made so I can test all of that out. And it's going good, to be honest. I've got like very good support. I think there's about 157, I think, opcodes overall. And right now I have support for something like 90 of them. Collins Bossa, hello, dude, question mark. I mean, if you posted a question before, let me know. Because I didn't get it. But yeah, we've got like support for a bunch of the functions. And we have unit tests for every single one of the functions that we add here. So yeah, I mean, things are going well. The plan for this is to have some sort of like UI where we can like single step the 6502 code. And then the UI is going to kind of like show, you know, this is what your memory looks like right now. And you can kind of like paginate over this. You can move on to the next set of pages. But yeah, I mean, this is basically it. This is the plan for this. I haven't got this bit yet, but that's perhaps something we can start working on this stream. We do have like IAM GUI integrated with this project, so it's quite easy to kind of get this GUI in at the moment. But yeah, I mean, looking at this, we're going to start with some snags. I think there are some snags here that I would like to fix. So for example, there is the issue of replacing all the main functions in the unit tests with the gtest main. It's something I can do very quickly. I'll explain what I'm doing in a second. I would also like to add support for stack functions, as you can probably see in the title. So if we look at masswork, this is the website that I use to get like all of the information about 6502 opcodes. So if you are interested in the project, link is in the description. Please go in there and kind of start it. And if you want to understand what this is actually doing, you know, you should probably read this page. So we are implementing a whole kind of emulator for all of these opcodes. And the last stage that I got to was implementing the stack functions. So let's kind of get a Excalibur thing in here so we can, I can kind of explain to you guys what a stack is if you don't know it yet. But yeah, I mean, stacking in computer science is just a data structure, right? So we have that with memory, and it's basically a first in, last out structure. So FILO, or last in, first out. That's really what you say it. So you push into the stack some bit of memory. So something like X 0x55, and it goes to the bottom, right? And then say you push another one, which is like another piece of data, 9.2 or 9.8 or whatever, and you keep doing this, right? So the first one, when you pull it from this, the first element that you're going to pull is the one at the top of the stack, right? So every time. So this is pushing onto the stack and popping onto the stack. Now, why do we have that in 6502? So it's a very good question. If you don't know how stacks are used in sort of like microchips and old CPUs, even in newer CPUs today, they were mostly used to kind of hold information about calling functions, right? Because you can have assembly functions. You can create an assembly function that will perhaps, do some operation with a few data bytes. So basically, if you think about the arguments as being the stack to the function, so you have to push in the address of where you call this code from. So let's say 0.55 here, so 0x55, and you're now calling a function that takes two parameters or 2 bytes, 9.8 and 9.8, right? So say it's an addition function, it would add those two things. Then you push those two parameters in the stack, right? You go to you jump to the function, and then you pop from the stack the two arguments, right? You do the operation that you have to do. So for example, ADC is one of them. So ADC adds 2 bytes. You add those two things in here. You store the result somewhere, maybe in the stack, right? So you basically you also pop the address of where you call the function from, because you're going to have to return to this. You're going to have to jump back to it, and you push the result back in. So, when you return to this bit of code here, say, this is supposed to be this plus this, right? So when you return to the calling code or the calling address, on the top of the stack, you should have the result of your function. And this is why we have stacks in very kind of like low level engineering here when you're talking about something like 6502. Even in today's hardware, it still basically works like this. So stacks are very, very important. And they, one of the uses is so you can, have calling functions and whatnot in hardware. Anyway, stack of book. Yeah, stack of book, yeah. It kind of works like a stack of book, yeah. If you think about, I realize that this is not something we wanted to have here. So yeah, it kind of works like a stack of book. If you think of putting books on a stack, the first one you're going to pick up is the one at the top, and the stack works exactly like that. You can only get top book unless if you want it to fall over. Exactly, yeah, exactly. Before we do some code, before we actually start coding, I want to open my Coke Zero. So we're still not sponsored by Coke. And yeah, if you guys know anyone working at Coca-Cola, shout me out. Anyway, here's the opening the bottle for you. Hope you guys heard that. I have this like really cool glass straw as well. Like you can see what I'm drinking. And it feels really good. It feels really good to drink from this. I'm pretty sure that improves the flavor. That's why you should do Pepsi then. Yeah, I mean, I've not had any luck with Pepsi. I've done Pepsi streams before, but still no one wants to sponsor me. Anyway, so let's go into this project. Let's start doing the snags. 6502. Code it. Sorry, too tired for spelling. Dude, mate, don't worry about spelling. I mean, I can't even pronounce things properly. And by the way, if you guys are watching this video, I would appreciate if you can click on like. And also, shoot me any questions, anything to do with programming, anything to do with my experiences. And I'm happy to answer. But please like the video. I would appreciate massively if you guys could do that. Massively, massively. So let me just change the monetize. I always forget to turn monetization on. Because, yeah. Mr. Incognito, you don't use NVIM? Not on Windows at the moment. I find that the VS Code kind of tends to work a little bit faster. Because, yeah, I don't know. The VS Code is a little bit faster on Windows than having Vim on WSL, which in turn is running all the LSPs in there and whatnot. But, yeah. I am going to soon switch to a full Linux build whenever, I get enough money, fingers crossed here, to buy a new laptop. I will probably buy a laptop that runs on Linux because my laptop is quite old and I kind of need to replace it soon. It's this machine here, guys, is like 4 or 5 years old. it's on its last legs. Trust me, it complains to me every day. Every day I turn it on, it sounds like an aircraft. You know, when you get on a plane to go to your holiday, it sounds exactly like that. Anyway, so we have source, we have, wait, what the hell is this? Oh, this is a different project. This is not the project I want. So what I want is 65k CDP. There you go. Have you played Frostpunk? No, I haven't yet. Hello, Muslight. How's it going, dude? Good to see you here. I haven't played that game. What is it about? Tell me. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is doing that test stuff, right? So you can see here that I've got like a bunch of files for all the tests. And each of these files, because it's Google Test, right? I have to define a main function for every single one of them, which is just some boilerplate code, right? It's just some boilerplate code that calls a Google Test with the program arguments, and it runs all the tests in this particular file or in this binary. Now, we don't need this if you have something like, if you're linking to something called the gtest main target. And that gtest main target is a library in the Google Test CMake that provides this particular definition here, this exact definition in the library. So I think I'm going to remove this boilerplate code in all of these tests and really quickly just link everything to gtest main, right? So we've got gtest here, so we've got gtest main, I think. This is the one. So I know whether or not this works by firstly kind of configuring this. And then let's see if it's going to succeed. Thanks, man. How are you doing? You seem energetic today. I like it. Thank you, dude. It's just been a chill day, really, so not a tiring one. And I had some nice food. I had some rest, and now I'm ready to code again. And also I have Coke Zero, so maybe that's, you know, part of the reason why I'm so energetic today. Is the caffeine in it. Mr. Incognito, sorry, I missed your message. I mean, you can run NVim without WSL. It supports Windows natively. I know it does, but it's just kind of a hassle to get everything into the environment variables and whatnot. I've run Vim before without, you know, not NeoVim. But, you know, for Windows, I kind of still prefer WSL. Sorry, not WSL, VS Code. And just saying, you don't really have to use NeoVim, by the way. There are a lot of people who don't use NeoVim and are amazing programmers. I'm not saying I'm one of them. But I do get this question a lot on the stream. It feels like everyone's like, yeah, this is perhaps, you know, what people get from watching so many streamers that use NeoVim. They have like this really like ideal mental image of a very, very good programmer. And to them, they must use NeoVim. And I'll tell you something, that's not the case. You just use the tools that you like. You don't have to use what someone else uses because you think they're really good. Because, yeah, I mean, these are just tools, right? As long as you learn the tools quite well, it doesn't really matter what you use. Hello, Nafam. Hello, Al. How's it going, dude? Just use the tools you are sharp with. Exactly, yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to shit talk any streamers or anyone, but, you know, if you have this idea that you have to use NeoVim to be a good programmer, you will never be a good programmer, dude. Just, you know, first of all, NeoVim and Vim by itself is not really programming at all. It's just like text editing. NeoVim equals productivity plus just that. Yeah, I mean, if you know it well, the problem is most people don't know it well. I know, yeah, there are people who know it really well and can definitely get productivity. But the bottleneck isn't the typing. My point is that the bottleneck for being a good programmer isn't the typing at all, is the thinking that goes behind the code that you're writing, right? So I wouldn't say that NeoVim necessarily equals productivity plus because most of the case, that's not the case. Most of the time, that's not the case. Put it that way. So yeah, can we build it? You can configure anything nowadays for, yeah. I mean, I'm using VS Code here with Vim tools. So I still use a lot of macros. I still navigate with Vim commands, but yeah, it doesn't look like NeoVim because it's not. It's yeah. So this still builds, surprisingly, because I'm expecting this to not build, especially for these things here. So for example, if I undefine that, and I undefine this here, I should still have all these tests, right? So let's build it. Okay, good. So it is working fine. Yeah, now the only point of like linking against gtest main is that I don't really have to manually define that main function. That is just some boilerplate code. Using the Vim bindings are great no matter what editor you are using. Yeah, I agree. I've always used Vim bindings because it is better when it's more productive when you learn them. I use the JetBrains suite professionally, and idea Vim is great. Oh yeah, nice. Back in the day when I used Sea Lion, I used to also use idea Vim. It's a good extension. In fact, that extension is so much better than the VS Code Vim extensions. It just, the only criticism that I have with the VS Code Vim extension is that you can't really use macros very well. Because, when you're creating your macro and you're editing or you're typing words and whatnot, you're typing code, it doesn't take into account the things that get auto-completed by VS Code. Whereas if you're doing that on NeoVim or Vim, you don't have that auto-completion while you're creating the macro. So your macros all get messed up, which is a little bit annoying. But, in terms of like navigation and whatnot, it's kind of the same. But anyway, so let's see if we can find all here on testing init Google test, and then we can see all the files that actually should not have this anymore, right? So for example, this one, if I just build this, I want to see if the test is still working and is still being built. So, and absolute test, for example. So if I just refresh this, and absolute tests. Yeah, it's funny that we're actually like talking about productivity at all, right? Because, most of the people that I've worked with, they use VS Code and they are very, very productive and very, very good. Yes, some of them do use like Vim bindings like myself. Some of them have other extensions that, maybe Emacs bindings, which also helps with productivity. But I can safely say that most of the people that I know that are very, very good at what they do in terms of coding don't actually use Vim. But on the other hand, there is one guy currently that I work with that's, he's amazing. He uses, not NeoVim, he uses Vim with like his own plugins and whatnot, his own setup. And, that guy can code for days and very, very fast. And navigation is amazing. Like, I wish I had his navigation skills in code. Because, yeah, I mean, it just does things very fast. But, yeah. So this still builds, right? So I can see plus y tags, tests, and that still runs. Okay, fine. So we can go back to this and delete all of these functions, all of the mains here. No longer need it. Just less code that we have to care about. Sanitize some of these as well. So we get this, delete. In fact, let's do a macro right now. So if we do this and we record an L here, that's a Vim macro. So we select that, go to this, delete, and stop recording. Okay, right. So we now can apply the same macro every time. So one at L, one at L, one at L, one at L. Another deletion there as well to make sure that we only have one line. Oh no. One at L. One at L. I'm missing the key every time. One at L. One at L. I keep missing the letter 1 on my keyboard, not the letter, the key 1 on my keyboard every time, and it's kind of annoying me. One at L. Okay, that was a nice little snag to fix. There is just a few of these left, and then we are done with this task. An extra deletion here as well. How often do you see a Visual Studio user? Not that much anymore, to be honest. I feel like most people who are writing C++ are either writing systems software for like cloud or something, or just like embedded development. And in both those cases, it's kind of like Linux development, right? However, there still are a lot of people who write software for Microsoft, so for Windows. Especially when I was working at Microsoft, for example, I think everyone used Visual Studio. It's just the software you use, basically. It integrates very well with the Windows SDK. But yeah, aside from that, aside from when people are like programming for Windows specifically, yeah, I don't see a lot of them. I think VS Code came and stole kind of like everyone who was using Visual Studio, to like work on CMake projects, for example, or very kind of like not hardware, but like platform unspecific, is that a word? So platform not specific code. So platform, code that compiles for many platforms. And yeah, I just feel like VS Code came and stole all of those users, because it tends to be a little bit nicer to start up. Let's be honest, it takes like maybe a fraction of the time that Visual Studio takes to just start up. And it's more customizable as well. Like there are so many plugins for it. So many plugins. There is an editor I've been meaning to try, and that's, I think, is Z, right? Z is the one. I've been meaning to try Z for a while now. And it's like the continuation of Atom, isn't it? So Z editor. Which Atom, for those who don't know, is an editor that came before VS Code, and I kind of believe it's like the thing that made Microsoft realize that they have to have their own editor as well. But this is like a prequel for it, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I remember reading it somewhere. For a sequel for it, right? I'm not wrong, am I? Let's see, Z editor and Atom. Apparently no. Apparently it's by the creators of Atom, which probably means that there's a lot of Atom code in here. Let's be honest. Like if you're the creator of Atom and then you're tasked with making another editor, you're going to copy and paste a lot of code. I've seen 10x editors is too fast. What do you mean by 10x editors? Yeah, but this, this is kind of like what I've been meaning to try as well. I'm Nathan. I'm not sure like how lightweight it is compared to VS Code. Here, I'm holding down the tab switch key binding and rotating all through the tabs. Okay. There is an editor called 10x. I'll take a look at that one right now. 10x editor. Let's take a look at it. The fastest editor for searching, etc. Oh, nice, yeah. I guess they've got some sort of like fuzzy search, built into it. But yeah, I mean, Z has been on my list. I just haven't had time to actually do it. 10x editor. What does it look like? Does it look nice though? Because the website doesn't. Let's be honest. The website looks kind of meh. I mean, it's got that kind of like early 2000s feel to it from this UI here. Isn't it open source? Wait, what? Oh no. This is not open source. You can open projects, etc. all. Yeah, I'll try it if it was open. I mean, maybe I'll pay for it at some point just so I can try it out. But it looks to be, when you have something like this where you actually have to pay, that means you have less users, right? Potentially means you have less plugins and less integrations on it, but I don't know. This is just me talking out of my common sense here. I don't know if that's actually the case. At least for a specific time. It's free if you can try it out. Okay, it's free to try it out. I don't really see a free option in here. Personal license, 80 a year. So you do save like 18 if you go for the year. Yeah, maybe I'll try it out at some point. But anyway, let's rebuild this. Oh, let's also kind of add your system specs. Not very good, dude. I don't even know off by heart. I think it's a NVIDIA 2070 Max Q. I've got a 9th generation i7 and 32 RAM. Yeah, DDR4 though. So it's pretty old. It's like 5 years old. It's not great, to be honest. I could do like better with a better machine. But this is what I can afford right now. I don't really have that much money. My money goes towards other things. I have bills to pay, unfortunately, and you know, pay my house and shit like that, which does take priority over other things. I've been wanting to buy like a £5,000 machine, but it doesn't justify. Nothing justifies that at the moment. And what about you guys? How beefed up is your machines? Are you guys like swimming in it? I wish YouTube told me like exactly what the hardware specs for my users are, because it would be able to give me some content ideas really. So like if everyone has an RTX, I would be able to do some CUDA programming on the stream, and people can actually try it out. But yeah. Oh, what have we done here? So we broke something. We broke something. What the hell? We broke some of the tests. I just bought a new one, but I realized I did not really needed that powerful machine to build like 15,000 C++. Yeah, that's true, dude. I can imagine. So there's a lot of things broken. So how? I don't understand how these tests are all broken. Like, what the hell? All I did is remove the main function from it and let's see, make a link in the main function. About the same level as yours. i7 9th gen, 48GB RAM, Quadro. Okay, yeah, I'm happy. Got it. Yeah, that's really good. 550. That's really good. I'm not even gonna say what my machine cost. It's a Lenovo gaming laptop, by the way, which is like, at the time when I bought it 4 years ago, it was like 1.6 grand. I basically cried. It hurt me to spend that much on a machine, but it was much needed, to be fair. So I've broken everything from the looks of it. I have no idea why. Mine is only 12 years old. Only 12 years old. Come on, dude. You've upgraded it, right? So there's no way you're like watching YouTube on a 12-year-old machine without upgrading it. I used to have a Pentium G2020 a few months ago. I bought my new system, i5, 16 gigs RAM. That's pretty good. 3060 is really good though. Yeah, I feel like most of, the CPU is nice. Obviously, having a nice CPU is good. Having good RAM is also good. But what really makes the difference is having a nice GPU nowadays, because like most applications require a GPU. Like most of the intensive applications anyway. And if you're doing some gaming and shit, that's what's really going to matter. The CPU isn't going to be the bottleneck. What the fuck is going on here? Like, dude, these GCDA things are pissing me off now. So what do? I need to bind everything and remove, and then GCNO as well, right? These are the coverage files, which are kind of annoying. Okay. So line 67. So this is SP is supposed to be 0. Ah, hold on a second. Yeah. Yeah, these are actually broken. These are actually broken. The reason being is because SP always starts with with FF, I think. So it always starts on the highest byte possible. That's because the stack pointer in 6502 also grows downwards. So you start from the last element and you grow downwards, and you can have up to 256 elements in here. You remind me of a post. Like a guy has 1 terabyte of RAM, 49, etc., and says it's time to watch YouTube now. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's not wrong, isn't it? That's what you can do. YouTube is actually a very, very demanding application if you think about it, especially if you're watching like 4K videos, as well as like browsing over 10 websites as you watch the videos. But yeah. Hello, Anton. How's it going, dude? Good to see you. Good to see you here again. Hey, welcome. Yeah, so I actually did like break all these tests, but I don't know how I didn't realize that I've broken all these tests, to be honest. Git fetch origin main. Git rebase origin main. Wait, did I merge this branch? I think I've already merged this branch, right? Let's check out to main. Oh, check out to main. Let's do a git pull here. And we're good with that. Git status, git stash pop now. Okay, let's rebuild it all, because I think I already had fixed this. It was just some reason a bad merge. I think maybe VS Code overrode the GitHub, also the Git switch branches. Doing well. Didn't see a notification from YouTube. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the YouTube algorithm is very, very weird. So like, maybe if you are a very popular streamer and you can like grab people's attentions very well, it will notify you. But most of my viewers do not get a YouTube notification, which is kind of annoying. I think if you hit the bell, there's a bell button under the video, and that will like actually subscribe you to all the notifications of the channel. That might, work out better in the future, but even that doesn't guarantee that you will get the notification, which is a little bit annoying. And immediate tests. Okay, no, so these still failed for sure. Let's check it out. Check it out why. Yeah, it's always going to be this, right? So what I can do is like I can actually just do a global replace for this, in all honest opinion. So we expect all of the stack pointers to be FF at the moment. We're going to replace all of them. Okay. We're going to rebuild everything, and we're going to run all the tests again. Yeah. It's starting to take a while to build this now, which is a bit annoying. Okay. Now let's run all the tests again, because things should work a little bit better, hopefully. Yeah, I can already see the test passing, so... Yeah, I thought I had fixed this. So, the context here is the following. So, up until a few days ago, the stack pointer... So if I go into the stack pointer, actually... There is a register, so struct registers here. There was this stack pointer, right, which is, it points to where the stack is in the memory, so where the top of the stack is. This up until a few days ago was 00, so it was initialized as 00 all the time. And now I changed it to initialize it as FF, because that's normally where the stack pointer is. And this, because the stack grows downwards, you have to be at the last possible element of the stack. And it kind of goes down, it grows downwards. So every time you add one, this will decrease. So the stack pointer, if you push an element to the stack, it will be FE, and if you do another one, it will be FD, and so on and so forth, right? Recently, I've been watching a YouTube and found that lines in a resume is a common thing. What do you think? How common is it in your opinion? It's very common. Whether or not I lie about something, I can't say. I mean, I have lied before. Not lied, but you know, when you see a job that says, "Do you have a lot of experience with?" An example is AWS, right? Not saying that I've particularly got no experience with AWS, but if it is something that you've worked with briefly, you don't have that much experience in it, but you feel like it's something that you can learn quite easily, especially before the interview. You can learn like the main concepts, and in the job you can learn quite easily as well, like quite fast. You know, I don't think it's unreasonable for you to say that you know AWS. That's the point here. You see what I mean, though? Matt, I have a good question. Sometimes I commit my project with like 100 megabytes of files and can cancel the commit. Any way to remove the committed file? So yes, I mean you can probably rebase it. You can rebase and then completely drop the commit that has the file in it. So you know, if for example here, if I do git rebase -i head 10, or maybe not, if I just stash it, you can also like you can do something like this where if you do that, I'm not sure if you can see it here. So if you put D in instead of pick, you will completely drop the commit and all the files in it, right? That's one way of doing it. So you can do that. Don't do it that though, because you have to force push it. Well, you have to force push it anyway if you've already committed something. Another way of doing it is there is a command on Git to actually remove files from the Git history overall. But I can't remember what it is because it's something that I never really do, to be honest. Like, say, you know, a similar use case would be like you've somehow pushed a key, a secret key, right, to your Google AdSense API or something like that, or your Google Analytics API. And you made another commit to remove that key. So the problem is, like, the Git history will still contain the changes that you've removed because it's in the history. And there's only one way of doing it, like completely removing the file or the change from Git. And that case never really occurs to me a lot, so I never remember what the commit is. So remove files from history. But it is, you know, if you search for like how to remove files from Git, you will find like what it actually is here. It is destructive though, so you might not be able to get it back. Just so you know, be careful with it. I get push error. You can push like 100 megabytes file, etc. And it wants me to remove it. Okay. Okay. So you've already committed the file. All right. Yeah. So what you can do is you can do a git reset. Not hard, soft head and underscore like 1, for example, right? And that will kind of give me, if I look at my changes here, so it will basically take the last commit, it will undo the last commit and put all the changes in my stash, not in the stash, but in the staging here. So you basically undo the commit only, but the changes are still there. From here though, you can do for example, a git checkout or a git, you know, you have to reset a particular file. So if I want to remove this file here, for example, like the test flags, I do git reset this, and then you can now see that the changes are no longer staged, they will be here. And obviously from here, I can then do something like a git checkout on this, or a remove the file. And then it will no longer be in the commit. And then you can repush the commit, if it makes sense. But anyway. Let me get back to where I was. Oh gosh, I wish I knew this before. Yeah. So, you know, I'm not going to explain it again. You have the video here. You can go back to it and then watch me doing in that particular order. I've spent like at least 20 hours of mine to, yeah, I mean, this is, you know, this is what Git is about, really. Like, at the start, really, I also didn't know most of this, to be honest. All I knew was like how to push and how to pull things. You learn it as you go, man. Don't get too bogged down on the details. Just know, you know, whenever you come across something like this, try and remember what the steps are so you can do it again if it comes around. That's all I can say. Okay, so I'm going to check out the new branch, which is going to be called remove. I watch many videos with Git, but they don't just explain those stuff. Thanks a lot, mate. No worries, mate. Whenever you have a question about Git, let me know. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm still really, really shit at Git. I'm not very good at all. You know, people I work with are so much better than me at Git. It kind of is embarrassing sometimes. When I'm like, oh yeah, how do you guys remove all the untracked changes from this directory only? And I have to like Google it every time, but they just know it off by heart. And you know, one day I will as well. Like the experience will kind of get that in my head. But right now, yeah, there are so many things on Git that I just don't know. Yeah, don't be embarrassed by it. It's fine. It's just a part of development. Part of development. So git checkout remove. What did I remove? Main functions from tests, right? Okay, so we have that now. There was a couple of tests that were still failing, and I really don't know why, because these should be fixed now. So there you go, SP, which is 0. Okay, so we do perhaps SP0 transfer. So what does transfer do? So transfer stack pointer 0 flag. Oh, right, yeah, so this is testing transferring the stack pointer, which will set the stack pointer to something, right? So stack pointer is 0, x, so this transfers tx, x. Yeah, let me take a look, because I have no idea. So BA is the 1. So if I go in here, if I take a look at my 6502 Bible, so what do we have? BA, right? So I have B, the high byte, low nibble, BA. Or in fact, in this matter, BA, no, BA. This one here. Transfer stack pointer to X. So should this be setting 0 flags and... Ah, yes, it's because the stack pointer is 0 in this case. That's that makes absolute sense. Yeah, that makes absolute sense. Yeah, in this case, it does make sense because I'm actually setting the stack pointer to 0 here, which means that if I rebuild this, it should now pass. I am always keen on this stuff, but learning by yourself can be tricky sometimes, and can't find a good source even these days, since everyone shares their knowledge and it gets complicated. Yeah, I mean, finding even I, when I'm doing coding, it's quite hard to follow sometimes, but I will say, you know, practice makes perfect, dude. So the more you practice, the better you get. So why didn't that work? What? Okay, it did work. And this should work now as well. There you go. And we fixed everything now. So another little tip that I always like to drop here, git add -i, and then you can just pick all the changes that you care about in a range format. I've staged everything. Now I can say, so simplified unit test without boilerplate. I can say removed the need for main by linking to gtest, gtest main here. We fixed a bunch of broken tests that expected the stack pointer to be 0x initialized. That's basically what we did in this, right? So we can push this. We can push that, and that's it. Now, yeah, let's move on to the next thing. So I wanted to implement another stack function here. So we do have something like PHA already. What we don't have is push processor status on the stack. This is an interesting function. So what this does is very easy. So whatever you have in the processor status, which is another register of the CPU, of the 6502, you're going to transfer it to the stack, the same value. And you can see that it doesn't actually set any flags, which is interesting. But one of the bits will be 1. So the break bit flag must be set to 1. And it doesn't say that in here. So the status register will be pushed with the break flag and bit set. And bit 5 set to 1. Okay, so we can do this. We can probably do this, right? Let's go for it. So we're going to branch off this branch. So git check al -b and add php mentioned add php opcode support, right? And I'm also, I was going to create a PR, but we do that in a second. I'm nearly finishing my Coke Zero, which is not ideal. Not ideal at all. My caffeine is running out. PHP mentioned, indeed, yeah, PHP mentioned. Although it's in the context of stack, so not the same thing. Yeah, so we've got that, and we also have that the opcode. This is what we're looking at. It's 48, right? So 48 is what we want here. Oh no, sorry, not 48. 08 is what we want here, right? So let's do that. In my emulator, a bunch of, well, all the functions are being added here. What I have to do is add another one of these and push support for 08, and that will be push, what is it called? Status reg to stack, right? So if we look for push accumulator to stack, we're going to create another one of these functions, but it's going to be a copy and paste with some caveats. That's basically what it's going to be. Status reg to stack. Ooh, to stack. I'm going to leave this code here, this comment, because it's still valid. Right, so the memory location. Memory location. Wait, I have a call. What the fuck? Who's calling me at this time? 1 second. That was freaking odd. It was just some random recruiter on a Friday at 9:30 asking me if I want a new job. I'm like, kind of late now though, isn't it? But anyway, when will you program in PHP for Rosma? Dude, whenever I get depressed again, I guess. Whenever I feel utterly depressed. Anyway, yeah, so there will be some caveats to this function. We are pushing the status reg. I'm just looking at what this is actually doing. This is getting the memory location, which is currently where the SP is. Close that. Yeah, oh yeah, this is where my stack memory will be loaded in. For those who don't know, the stack of 6502 starts at 0100. That's the start of the stack, or the end of the stack. And it goes up to 01FF, right? So these are all the 255 values you can have on a 6502 CPU. So that's getting where the next element will go, which can potentially overflow. You know, if you add more than 255 or 256 elements, it will go back to the end and it will like override the previous stack. And then we set the register, the thing to it, whatever this is, right? So it should really be SP here. But there are caveats. I need to set the B flag to 1 and 5th bit to 1 as well. So in actual fact, what I need to do is I need to do something like auto, or in fact, std uint at. Oh, std uint at. Hello, Robin. How's it going, man? That's why you always tune into these emulator streams, which is always nice because I think you're the one who did the thumbnail that I'm still using, by the way. So thank you for that. Anyway, how's it going, Robin? It's a long time no see, dude. Going good. Nice, yeah. Good to hear. How is your project doing? I mean, it's been a couple of weeks now, right, since you last spoke about it. So hopefully a lot of progress, and you surely you have a demo now that we can check out on the stream, right? So when you have that going, let us know. Autoconst, and we have this is going to be the register, so value. The CPU.sp OSR, and then we're gonna we just static cast to std uint at. This is going to be the 5th bit. Is that what it said? The 5th bit is going to be set. So this is the 7th. This is bit 7. This is bit 6. This is bit 4, I think. Yeah, this is bit 4. There is one bit in here, which is 5. This is bit 3. This is bit 2. This is bit 1. And this is bit 0. Just for context. On the flags, on the register, this is what this is. Good. It's all live now. No way, it's live, dude. So can I get an account to it? Can I review it? Let me know. Let me know. I'd love to see and give you some feedback, man. Okay, so we have that. Yeah. So we set bit 5 on the B flag to true. So the B flag will be 6, right? In fact, we can just do it here. So x, 0x, 0b, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So bit 5 is supposed to be set, and bit 4 is supposed to be set as well, because that is, I believe, B, right? Yeah, bit 5 and the break flag, yeah. So the break flag is B. Yeah, this is fine. So this is what we expect here. And we change that to SP. Okay. But we don't store interrupt, do we? Yeah, working on it. Nice, dude. Yeah. I expect the UX to be extremely good, man, from your work that I've seen before. I expect to have some really, really, like, very intuitive UX, as well as, you know, nice looking, shall we say. Very nice looking. Right, so yeah, the status register will be pushed with the break flag set, but it doesn't set any of the other flags though. The interrupt flag with the break flag and bit 5 set to 1. It doesn't mention the break flag at all in here. Well, the only problem is that I don't know whether I should also be setting these flags on the CPU, or if I just should set it on the stack, you know? For the full experience, you should also have the app downloaded, but you can take a look at the manager. Nice. I'm interested in receiving a link for it at some point. So whenever you feel like, you know, it's ready for review, let me know. I mean, it's for companies, right? I have a company. I have a company that I do some HRE stuff on it. So maybe I could actually use it and give you some proper feedback. You know, user experience feedback. I can be the free QA engineer that you found online. Yeah, so let's do a bit of Googling now, because this doesn't really say anything about it. So the PHP in 6502 opcode. I don't want to go back to mass work. push status register. It's PHP here, PHP mentioned. So laid out as this with the X is always reading as 1 if you push the status register onto the stack. And never been changed by any means. All the other bits can be restored from the stack by PLP or RTI. Aside from that, each bit is updated in its own circumstances. Okay, I mean, from everything that I've read online so far, it doesn't seem like we do set those bits internally anyway. The only thing is that it's currently in Swedish. We are working on implementing I18 right now, so it should be available soon. What is I18? I don't actually know what it is. Is that something like English translation or something? I18. Am I just being dumb? What is I18? I18 is an internationalization framework. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's pretty much what he said. Nice. So I guess it's kind of nicer to translate things with it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how internationalization frameworks work, really. I mean, the closest I got was like working on the Diablo 1 source code where we had some some translation services in there. It was kind of like a very basic internationalization framework, but it's probably nothing compared to what you have in JS, to be honest. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So that should help you out quite a lot, getting it in English, right? I feel like, using AI to do that sort of stuff would also probably speed up quite a lot of your work. I don't know. Translating all the text that you have. You'll be pretty good at that. This is one of the things I really believe AI can do well. And that is translation. Translation is, really well done by AI. Yeah, I have looked at that bit. Cool. So, yeah, so I think this code is correct, per se. So I think we are fine here. Yeah, so we can do that, and now we can do some tests for this as well. Let's do some tests. So we have PHP tests. We are going to call this PHP tests. And what the hell is this doing? Yeah, this is where I would set a bunch of flags here. So we need to set a bunch of flags and make sure that we can retrieve or retrieve them from the stack. So PHP tests push non-overflow. Yeah, we do want to make sure that it overflows as well, right? Again. Yeah, I guess we push all flags set, non-overflow. So we're not going to overflow the stack in this case. Stack overflow mentioned. Oh yeah, this is why we have the term stack overflow, by the way, if you guys don't understand. So Stack Overflow, there's a lot of like new people watching me, and I know that most of the experienced guys here will know. But when you have something like this, right? So you've got like a stack in the program, and this is where, as I said, your function or your function calls can push, where the function was, and then the argument data that you pass into the function as well, and a bunch of other stuff. So we have that, and then we can have like multiple of these, And the overflow happens when you don't have enough space anymore to store anything else. So if you push something else in here, boom, we've overflown, which means we're going to be storing back at the start, completely overriding this. And you can see that this is really a problem, because if this thing here, if this code was the return location of a function, we've made the program malformed. And this is what Stack Overflow is. And that's why it's actually a very, very common problem, especially in lower level programming. It happens quite a lot if you do something wrong with the stack. And yeah, I guess this is where the the term comes in, Stack Overflow. But again, no, most people aren't using Stack Overflow now. They've all switched to like ChatGPT. So I'm not sure if it means anything to them anymore. So all the millennials are no longer using Stack Overflow, which is kind of a shame, right? There's a lot of history in that. But yeah. How long are you going to be streaming for? I have to run an errand. Yeah, I'll probably still be here in 40 minutes. I don't know. But, you know, it just depends on how tired I am, because I am going to London tomorrow morning. So I should probably call it in early. But I'll tell you what, Robin, it's been good to see you, dude. And it's good to hear that you're still working very, very hard on your product. And everyone watching this stream right now and watching this in the future should take Robin's example. You know, if you want to do something, don't just sit on your ass. Just go out and do it and create projects that you can finish and sell it. You know, you can get quite a bit of money for it. I hope Robin gets to do that bit of selling it and getting a lot of money for it. But Robin is an extremely experienced developer who really knows what he's doing, and he's been very good at always doing incredible projects. Especially like his front end skills are amazing. I'm gonna hire you at some point, Robin, because I still have like that family website to do the front end for. So we still have to talk about that. But yeah, I will see if you are live when you come back. No worries, dude. You know, if not, take care, man, and have a good night. I got Stack Overflow once. I was doing a 3DS DFS with recursion. Changed that real fast to a heap stack. Yeah, I mean, Stack Overflows are fine. You know, they only occur when you have like basically infinite loops or very, very large loops. If you don't have that, you should never really get them. Take care. Thank you, dude. But anyway, so we are not going to do a Stack Overflow here. We do want to test that as well to see what happens. We want to make sure that the stack does overflow correctly in the way we expect it to, because that's what the hardware actually does. And we want to kind of mimic exactly what the 6502 CPU does, right? So that's what an emulator does. That Coke is delicious, and I've only got one more sip left. So I'll tell you what, who wants to donate and give me another Coke here? Buy me a coffee, right? That would be a good thing to do. Like, I'm going to create a donation website, but then you kind of just, you know, you can buy me a coffee instead. Not coffee, sorry. You can buy me a Coke Zero instead of a coffee. I know there is buy me a coffee now or something. Just became a supporter. Hello, Dana J. Dude, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, I appreciate that very much, dude. And in fact, that's a very, very old school name that I like to hear on the channel a lot. So Dana J was probably like one of the first 10 viewers that I had, right, Dana? And it's good to see that you're still here, dude. It's good to see that you're still here. And I'm very proud to, you know, to still have you as a viewer. I remember, you know, streaming until like 2 a.m. and Dana J, who lives in India, by the way, I think, right? And that's like 7 hours ahead. So he was literally still awake at like 5 in the morning just watching me and giving me the support. So I do appreciate that massively, my man. Pepsi Max, Coke Zero is more than coffee. It depends on what you're trying to get, right? Yeah, man, I've been busy with life lately. That's good, man. That's good. So, you know, it shows that you're doing well, and hopefully you got a job by now, right? So you still, I can't remember, you working as a web dev in the past, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it's good to see that you're busy, man, because that implies that, you know, life is going well. It's good to be busy. Good to be busy indeed. Yeah, so going back to your point there, see, I prefer coffee during the day, if I'm honest. So like, this is my routine, right? I wake up at like 7 or something. I go to work at 8, so I start working, I log on at 8, and I do some like daily planning. So I plan in my day like what I want to do, the PRs I want to raise, maybe documents I want to write, because there's a lot of documentation work with the stuff that I do. And then at exactly 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. every day, I have a coffee, because that will wake me up again. Like by 10 a.m., I'm already like asleep again, basically. And yeah, I mean, I go until 12, go for some exercise at like 12, come back at 1. And then at 3 p.m. every day, I also have another coffee. That's my second and last coffee of the day, because those are the 2 points, like 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Those are the 2 times in a day where I am kind of falling asleep and not concentrating at work very much. And coffee helps out quite a lot because it has way more caffeine than Coca-Cola. But yeah, working as a full-time dev by the day. What are you working on? CPU emulator and C++? Yeah, exactly, man. So working on a 6502 emulator. So if you want to know what this is, you know, this is the the CPU. It's an 8-bit CPU that things like, you know, consoles like the NES used, the Super NES as well for part of the calculations. Yeah, I mean it was a very popular CPU back in the day, and I've got like this goal that I want to finish this project in a month's time. So like I'm kind of implementing one of the instructions every day until I finish it because I wanna create the whole thing. And then once I finish doing the basic operations, because there's like maybe 157, I think it is, like opcodes that I have to implement. There's only like 40 left now, so very, very, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. I actually want to create a Nintendo emulator, right? So I want to create the NES emulator for it, which means I'll have to implement the videoing part, the graphics part of it, and that's going to be a really nice stream. So this is why I want to finish it, just so I can have like more interesting content idea for the channel. And I can also enjoy this a little bit more once I'm actually doing the graphics. But yeah. Right, the program in here is not what I want, right? So what I want is what I do want is 0A, right? So we can do 255. Right? So what do we do here? No. Let's do that. So 256 at 0x 0A, I think it is. And there you go. I am going to quickly format this file, get that in there. Get this in the middle screen. And yeah, I mean, we've got 256 08s here. So this will do like this operation 256 times, which means that our stack is going to be full of whatever is in the register, right? So this is quite easy as well. So I can do cpu.flags. And I can set all of them in here. Basically, this is my idea. So n equals true. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And what are the flags that I have? Unfortunately, we don't have IntelliSense. I'm gonna always complain about this because the C++ IntelliSense with ClankD and Visual Studio Code's C++ extension doesn't work with modules, and we are using modules here because we just want to be painful, I guess. We just want to feel the pain. So all of these is what I need to set. You should check out 8-Bit Workshop. What is that? I'm interested now. 8-Bit Workshop. I will check it out. So PHP tests. In fact, let's just do a macro for this. It's probably going to be easier, right? So if we just do that. Oh. We just do that. And we start recording at L. We do this. We delete that. And then we do cpu.flags.this. We remove that and then set to true. And then we do that and then we do another 6 times and there you go. So yeah, we set every bit to true. And once we do that, we can go through all of the memory addresses and we can assert that the memory there is going to be, what do we expect here? All ones, right? So we do actually expect 0 by 0. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And that should be the test, right? That should truly be the test. We're going to just make sure that we've not got that one at the moment. I'm going to add it to my CMake as well. So we have CMake lists. We're just going to add one of these in here. This is called PHP tests, right? We're going to just sort this out as well. So, okay, all sorted now. It's like an online IDE where you can create any other game console CPU and create instruction set. Oh, that sounds really interesting. Like that is what I'm 8-Bit Workshop. You guys heard that? That's the sound of my Coca-Cola ending. So I'm gonna have to drink some water now. Learn 8-bit programming. So write 8-bit code in your browser. Ever wanted to be an old school game programmer? Learn how classic game hardware worked. That sounds pretty cool. So do you actually get to create the emulators here? Or, oh no, you get given, you have an emulator online and you start writing it. Yeah, I mean, I've used something similar before. So I've used the 6502 tutorial website, which kind of has something similar. It doesn't have the graphics though, and that I will say this is much better. And what can I choose here? Atari hardware, Verilog, game consoles, NES. Yeah, so that could be like a good stream idea, couldn't it, Dana J? So like we go through this and then we create some sort of game that will just bounce a ball around. Um, why is the NES in C? So what? We have a compiler here for the NES in C code. That is cool. That is cool. Neslib. See, does it compile to like actual code though? So can I get the compilation for this? So it just writes hello world, which is fine. But can I get the actual disassembly here? Oh yeah, I do have the disassembly. I want the blob, the actual blob. Run here, books, stack pointer. Yep, sounds interesting. Yeah, because I basically need a little program that I can test my emulator with. How can I download this? Because like it will be this is obviously compiling the code into 6502, where I can see here. Yeah, you can see here. But I want to actually get the code for it. Not the code, the compiled binary. VROM memory probe, debug, assert, disassembly. Disassembly is probably the memory browser. Ooh. Cool. This has quite a lot of stuff in it. VRAM browser. Oh yeah, we can see what the video RAM is in this case. This is so cool. Maybe, yeah, this is what I was planning to do. Something like this. Yeah, I still want to get the code though. I still want to get the executable somehow. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I can probably just download the disassembly here. Download that and then kind of just put it through a compiler for an assembler for the 6502. Ooh, there is more. Break, 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 break. There should be an option, but it doesn't. As the project is open source, you can extract it out and make modifications. Yeah, that is cool. I will definitely check it out. Like, I didn't know about the existence of this website, and this is incredible. I really like this. Midway 80. So this guy actually wrote an entire game. Hello world. This is the joystick and the space here. Okay. It's not actually working though, is it? That one didn't work. Let's try this one, Williams. So are you meant to program this? Is that what's going on here? So like these are not just supported platform. Ah, okay, I see. So these are supported platforms, but these are not necessarily the demos. I do wonder, like, has someone made a really good demo for it? Projects, there you go. There you go. So these are the actual demos. Chase for SMS. Open project in 8-bit. Yeah, I was expecting the code to be a lot bigger. Enter start. Ooh. This is so cool. I love this. I love that the website gives you the emulator and the means to actually create the code. Level 2. That is amazing. And obviously the project itself will render all of the NES code or the NES instructions into a canvas, right? I guess. Yeah. This is, yeah, HTML5, JavaScript rendering of the NES is really good. I really like it. I'm definitely going to check it out in the future. I'm definitely going to like come back to this in the future. But yeah, we're kind of miles away from that though in this project. Unfortunately, we are quite a long time away, but yeah. But it is what it is, right? You know, every project starts small and then we grow it from there. So we added that there, and now we should have the PHP tests. If we, why was it on build? Was the thing not built? Did it fail to build or some shit? Yeah, it's just linking a bunch of stuff. There you go. Okay, so the test does work as expected, which is always good. Let me just make sure that it is doing what I expect it to do. Now we can uncomment the other one. Now this one is meant to be a push overflows to make sure that the instruction actually does overflow. And if it does overflow, we expect it like the stack to be at the start again. So this is testing. Nothing interesting. So PHP tests pushed overflow. The SP00. Okay. So in here we push it twice, 0 and 0. And we are going to set everything to 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0 by 1, 1, 1, 1. That was one too many now. I'm gonna go for that. I'm gonna go for this here. And this is, yeah, Bob's your uncle. Basically that. I'm gonna build it again and make sure this test passes, and it should do, because I don't think it will fail miserably. We'll find that out though. Yeah, we don't need this A anymore actually in here. And same with this one. We don't care about that. And just for the sake of simplicity, we should also make sure that all the registers are 0, now that I think about it. Just to make sure that nothing regresses in the future. So like only the registers that we want are actually touched, if it makes sense. Okay, good. Yeah, let me do that, just for the sake of simplicity here. Or for the sake of completeness, in fact. Yeah, it'll be something like assert equal, and then we have CPU.reg register.a. That's going to be 0x00, and then we are going to have that a few times over, right? I think that's enough. So we have AXYPC. AXY. Now, PC is going to be a bit different because this is the number of bytes that we expect the code to be at. And in this case, we will have read 256, right? So it's basically FF, I think. Like that. Let me just build this again and make sure. I see import statement on the top of the file. Are you using C++ import module? Yes, I am. So that's why we don't have IntelliSense here. As I say, you know, this doesn't work very well with ClangD or VS Code's LSP or the language server. We got that. We got this. No. So what did actually fail here? Bro, these things are pissing me off. So we need to do a find and remove all the GCNA files and GCDO files. GCDA files. There you go. What is it? So, yeah, as you see, so PC is 256, but it should have been 256, not 255, my bad. And now I can do that on this one as well. Just going to assert that everything is what we expect it to be. We can build both. This one is only going to be 2, right? So, yeah. Yeah, like that. I think, right? Or should it be on 3? Yeah, I think the PC points to the next instruction. Is that correct? If it is, then that's going to be wrong. Let's see. Oh, no, it's right. Okay. I'm happy with that. We can push it. Okay, won that one as well. And then we... Oh, I forgot to add the tests, PHP tests. That should be here. What was the function called? I have all of the opcodes here and what function handles it. That will be, so in my case, the stack ones are down here somewhere. 0.8 push status. I'm just going to copy this through this. Oh, wait a second. This is malformed. It should have been just that, I would say. There you go. Okay. Yeah. I think that's it. Now, is there anything else that we can do really quickly? So I've done 2 snags here that I wanted to get rid of. Is there anything that I've seen before that we need to do? Unit test edge cases. Yeah, no, this is going to be quite a little bit more involved. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what function I should go for next, to be honest. Just want to yap a little bit and not do any code. So I think really what we should go for next is the ones that pull from the stack, right? So there's a few of them. So we've got the support for these 2 functions here, PHA and PHP, which is fine. Now we need these 2 here. So PLA pull into the accumulator. So you see this will pull the value that's on top of the stack onto the accumulator. And yeah. And it sets some flags as well. So if you pulled something that's non-zero, it will set a non-zero flag. Likewise, it sets the 0 flag as well. But it should be fairly straightforward, I think, right? Yeah, it should be fairly straightforward, in my opinion. So yeah, let's take a look at it. Let's see if we can do that. So this is 6.8. So we just add another one here, supported instructions 06A. And that will be pull stack to accumulator. Did I spell accumulator right? I did, yeah. We're going to copy this one. Same thing as before. We're going to, was it pull stack to accumulator? What was it called? What did I call it? Pull stack to accumulator. Yeah, pull stack to accumulator. And yeah, it becomes very easy. So the top of the stack is whatever the stack is pointing to, -1, right? So that's what we essentially have. So if we have 0, 0, let me think about this. Yeah, in this case, I'm just gonna cheat a little bit and then do a different static cast in here. So uint ht. Oh, well, in fact, I can do uint 16t, which is that minus 1, or plus 1, in fact, right? Because we're growing downwards, so it'll be plus 1. And we just mask it with 0x or 0 byte 1111 1111. Easy as that. Okay. That will give us the memory location of the current top of the stack. And we just got to return the value. It's as easy as that, right? So now we kind of get the value. So we say that the value is going to be equal to the cpu.mem on the mem location. And we got to set some flags, right? So we're going to do cpu.flags.n is whether this and this mask byte matches. So 00. For those who don't know, 6502 stores all the numbers in some sort of like 2's complement, I think it is. So which means if the last byte, if the most significant byte or bit is set, then it's a negative number, and that's how we know that it's a negative number, and therefore that the flag should be set. And likewise, we have a C flag, just to make sure, you know, if we have the value equals 0, then that's true, right? That's it. And yeah. And in this case, we just return it. We, in fact, don't return it. We do a cpu.reg.a. That's going to be equals to the value. And I think that's it. That is basically it, right? And likewise, it's the same thing for the poll processor from status from register from the stack, right? This one is a little bit more interesting because we actually have to set all the flags according to this. So yeah, we're going to pull whatever value it is on the stack, and we're going to set all the flags according to all the values. So there is some more masking on this, which is fine as well. But we can do that here. It's not a problem. So in this case, what do we do? Pull stack. So pull stack to status reg, right? The memory location stays the same. I could probably abstract this, you know, this is a to-do. Abstract these two lines into function macro to get the top of the stack pointer. Hello, Aryan Garung. How's it going, man? Good to see you. Yeah, so, you know, these are the same every time. Like in these two functions, they're the same. And in this, it's probably not even worth abstracting it, to be honest. Just inlining will be the best option here, actually. Yeah, so the value is going to be whatever's on the stack. And this is a little bit different because now we have to set everything, right? So we set all the flags according to this, which is fine. Okay, so we set the memory. Yeah, now I'm going to have to go back and forth on this. In fact, I'm just going to copy and paste it so I have a reference in here. Hello, it's Code. How's it going, dude? From Algeria. What is that? What flag is that? Is that Algeria? That is Algeria, right? I'm not tripping. Is it Algeria? Sorry if I'm like deeply insulting you. But I think that's no, it's not Algeria. Sorry about that. I don't know what. Pakistan. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. I saw the star and the moon, and I was like, yeah, Algeria. But you know, hi, hello to everyone in Pakistan. Hi, how are you doing? Hello, Adash. How is it going, dude? I still have your project on hold to review. I haven't had much time to review it this week, but I promise you, maybe next week we'll do it. It looked a little bit more complex than I thought it would be. So you have like a few different microservices with being spawned on Kubernetes, I think, right? And it's not something I can easily kind of work with or just run on my machine because it requires a bit of setup, which means I didn't actually get that much time to look at it. I just like shallowly looked at the code, but yeah. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a bigger review than I expected. Hence why we're not doing it today. But I did take a look at it. So I did take a look at it, and then it looks good so far. No major complaints on your service authorization or your authorization service, authentication service, in fact. Hi man, how are you doing? What's the current state of the project? Hello Leon, how's it going? So the current state of the project is we have about 157 instructions here, and we currently have support for around, I think it's like coming to 82-ish now with this stream. So there's still a little bit of work to go, but the goal here is to actually have, all of the instructions being supported. We're going to write like a very basic program to do something cool. And as we do that, as we interpret that program with our emulator, I'm also going to create a UI where you're going to be able to see or you're going to be able to single step the instructions, see what the memory looks like. You're gonna be able to paginate through the memory, and yeah, I mean that's basically the idea, to offer some sort of UI like this on the command line or a GUI per se. But we're still a little bit far away. I say at this rate, I'm doing about one function a day, which gives me there's another 40 days, so another month at least. So yeah, I'm still another 2 months at least from having something like this working. And that's because I'm not working on this full time. If I was, I'll be able to do something like, 5 to 10 instructions a day, which would be a lot nicer. But it's going. Thanks for looking at it. No problem. Please take your time. No worries, dude. Thank you for understanding. I do want to make reviewing reviewing viewers projects a thing in the channel, because I've done this twice in the past, and those streams go well, do really well with the viewers. I think it gives them a sort of a nice insight into what it is to actually work with code and review people's code, and just general advice on what people do and not do in the code as well, like what good programmers do. So yeah, code reviews is definitely something that I want to include more and more in the channel. It's just the time, whenever you do a code review stream, you have to spend maybe a day, maybe 2 days after work just reviewing the code and actually understanding and making sure that you understand the code and you can run it, and you can give insightful feedback to people, and not just shallow stuff and typo fixes and whatnot. But yeah. Yeah, that's the pain of doing code reviews online. Yeah, so what were we doing here? So we were setting the flag. So the value and that, which is bit 7, that's fine. So V would be the next one then. V is going to be the value and bit 6, so 0, 1 here. Now we also have B in this case, right? Which is the break or the interrupt. No, this is break. Yeah, this is the break status. So we have static cast boo, and we got value and 0b 0, 0, 1, or in fact 0, 1. And yeah, we just do that. Basically, we just do D, and then we're also gonna have I, and we're also gonna have Z, and we're also going to have 0, and then the carry last. I think I stopped here, so this had to be a 0 and a 1 here. This had to be a 0 and a 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then both zeros. And yeah, I feel like that should be it. Really, that should sort it out. Let's format everything. Awesome. What do you use for the GUI? I just started with some WX widget stuff and seemed to be quite easy to get into. Yeah, WX widgets, is that the C++ binding or the Python binding? Because I've seen WX widgets for Python a lot. I've never actually used it for C++. But yeah, it is. It's supposed to be a very easy to get. Oh yeah, no, it is a C++ library, isn't it? It's supposed to be a nice GUI thing. I mean, to be honest, I was just thinking of IMGUI because I already have Raylib here. So Raylib gives you like a little 2D window to draw on, and then IMGUI can give you like the widgets inside it. So I was just gonna do that because it's very easy to develop with it. Yeah, in terms of anything fancier, I don't know. Maybe I'll try out the Slint, right? So we've tried out Slint on the channel before. I kind of liked it, so I might actually release something with that. I don't know. You can use Makefile to set up using just Docker whenever you decide to take it up. I am always planning to add detailed documentation of you. Yeah, so Ardash, if you can add the documentation to it, it'll make my life a lot easier when reviewing it, because then I'll know exactly how to run it. You know what I mean? And that's, that's one of the first feedback I give to people. Like, I can't run your project. I have no idea how to do it. And there is no documentation for it. Because documentation is probably one of the most important things you're going to release with your software. Yeah, if you have good documentation, if you have like nice and simple examples, people will actually be able to run it very quickly. And that means there's more chance of them actually like looking at your code and not looking at your code, but, running your project and giving you some useful feedback. If you don't, it's more likely that people will not ever run your code. Raylib would also be a very easy to use GUI lib. Yeah, it is. Hello, Robin. Glad to see you back, dude. So, let me have some water here because my voice is going. Oh, going to bed already, Anton. No worries, dude. Thank you for joining me again, man. It's always nice to see you here. I really enjoy when like people keep joining the streams over and over again. It gives me a sense of, I don't know, that I actually have people who enjoy watching me, which is hard to believe in my case because I'm extremely boring. But yeah, thank you, dude, and have a good night and have a good weekend. I'll see you next time. I'm still here though, for the guys who have stayed. So we've added these two functions. Now we just have to kind of add tests for them, I guess, right? So we have, yeah, we've got that push and pull. So the status register was a different one. Which one was that? Status register. I sent a link on the Discord if you have time. Oh, yes, I do. I'm probably not going to be doing a in-depth thing today, but we can definitely take a look in a second. Let me just make sure that this compiles first, and then we're going to go right into it, Robin. So we're going to review Robin's project here, guys. So this is a proper, big boy project that Robin's created, and it's releasing to the world. So if you guys know anyone with businesses and they want to run some HRE stuff to plan and shit, you should probably look at that. As far as I know. Right. So instruction set, we did have the push and pull ones here. So PLP, this is going to be 2.8, 6.8 and 2.8, right? So 2.8 is the one I want here. So 6.8 and 2.8. So we pull status, right, jam. There you go. I want to see if this builds. You can request a demo to the manager site through the landing page. Ooh, nice, yeah. Yeah, I feel like most products today do offer a demo, just because if you don't, then people will just not like use it. I'm gonna request one here, but I'm gonna hide my email, even though it's very easy for you guys to find. I just don't wanna dox myself too easily. I want to make you guys work for it. I've requested something. But streamline your workflow with opsync. So is this supposed to be some sort of like Miro competitor? What is this meant to be, Robin? Give us well, in fact, don't tell us. Let me read this and see if I understand. One of the things that I love doing when viewing products or judging products is whether or not I can understand what the product is by just reading the landing page. Because if you don't, then it's you're not doing a good job. But this is opsync. the ultimate solution for managing and optimizing service-based organizations. Streamline your operations. I guess this is like planning software so far. Enhance client interaction so you can get some feedback somehow. That's what I'm getting out of it. You'll be able to get feedback from the clients and boost productivity. Whether you're in gardening, cleaning, property maintenance, or any other task-driven industry, our platform is designed to streamline your operations, enhance client interactions, and boost productivity. Task management. Oh, there you go. Task management, client relationship, and performance tracking. That's good. So this is kind of like, it feels like it's a kind of like a project that combines like analytics, like Miro, and some sort of like social media aspect for client, right? For talking to clients. Or is that client relationship where you mean doing like mailing and, you know, mail letters and stuff? We have not spent too much time on the landing page. No worries, dude. You don't have to worry too much. I'm not gonna judge you too much. I know that, you know, you guys have been doing this for like a very short period of time. Key features: client management, member management, task management. What would be cool here, dude, is that like if I hovered over it, like there'll be a pop-out saying exactly like the features that you provide. Maybe even like a little graphics just to kind of show, you know, the inside of your product, like how, for example, if I click on if I go on task management, like something will pop up here and it will say like you can create tasks and you can track, you can kind of set deadlines and so on and so on and so forth, and then it will show you like all the steps, very easy steps to do that. Because that's one of the things that, you know, most of these projects, in my opinion, like Jira, Miro, they all miss that. So like if I'm just like Mr. John or whatever that's got like a gardening business, like I'm not a very techy person. I don't know what your website will provide me. But if I can click on it and it shows me exactly how I'll benefit from using your service, like you will say like, oh, I can create a particular task for, I don't know, doing my neighbor's garden tomorrow in a week. And you set a deadline for it and you can like track it and you can, yeah, whatnot. And it's all within like a little short graphic here. That'll be really cool, in my opinion. So making it very, very kind of obvious to non-techie people. That's what I would say. Benefits: increase productivity, streamline workflows, and boost stream. Yeah, that's cool. Time saves, automate repetitive tasks, and focus on what matters. Again, I can kind of like guess what this means, but like for a non-techie person, you probably need like at least a tooltip here saying, you know, what this actually means. And enhanced security, insightful. Yeah, maybe you can talk about like, do you guys back up their information? And then how often you back up so people don't lose. That's like, this is a true feedback I got from a business owner that I spoke to the other day, right? So they use this class booking software. So it's basically an agenda software, right? You plug into your website and you get like a little calendar where people can log in and then book some time with you. For example, a haircut place, right? A haircut place would have that. This website that he uses does a lot of updates, something like, you know, once or twice a month. Sometimes those updates will like cause data to be lost, like they will just lose data. And the last backup they did was like 2 days ago, so he's lost like all of the clients that have booked something for the 2 days, and he has to like send out manual emails and stuff. So it is a really big problem for business owners. So if you can say that you back up your data like every day or something, so you don't lose too much, or twice every day, that'll be a huge plus for some people. Like that is a really good point for some people, I would say. The landing page is not really meant to be the main platform. Okay, more of, I see. So this is more of a, like where people land from an advert or something, right? I guess. But yeah, make it clear for non-tech, savvy people. Yeah, it looks good. I mean, I would like to get some actual. Yeah, there's no. I guess you're still working on this, right? So like you're still working on like having a blog post for each one of these things, I guess, like when you click on them. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So what framework are you using for this one, out of interest? Next.js, from the looks of it, right? It looks clean. It looks very clean, I will say that. Yeah, we have spent maybe max 1 day on the landing page. Next.js, cool, all right. That is cool though. I like that. I really, really like that. But anyway, on that note, this compiles. I'm going to push it and then add the test later on because I can't be bothered now. Add PHP opcode. Yeah, so we have to check out here. Add full stack opcodes. And then we can add -i. Is there anything else that we did? I don't think so. Wait, why did it not add? So we've actually done quite a few bits today, which has been really, really good. And I can't complain. But on that note, I think I'm actually going to get some sleep now, guys, because I am going to London tomorrow. There's a long trip. Not a long trip, it's like 2 hours on a train, but I'll be tired anyway. And my train is quite early in the morning, so I'm going to try and get some sleep. But thank you all very much for joining. And if you can like the video, I would appreciate that massively. It has been very nice talking to some of the old viewers here. And I'm glad to see that everyone's doing well. Everyone's still learning. Everyone's still working on the project. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Good night.